And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Because all the blessings that we're going to get, which is entailing the kingdom of heaven. Isaiah the 60th chapter, I'm going to start at the 10th verse and read on down. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So the sons of strangers, that's talking about the actual strangers, the other nations, shall build up thy walls. We're going to have them in slavery. So they're going to be building the kingdom of heaven, because we're not building nothing. We're not lifting a hand to move nothing. It says, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. That's talking about the actual Gentiles. We're going to take all of their substance, and that their kings may be brought.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Verse 13. And the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. So the land of Israel, the land of Jerusalem, is going to be made glorious. It's going to be made glorious once again. The kingdom is going to be built up. We had a taste of that during the time of Solomon's reign, which was for about 40 years. Verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the sole of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord. The word Zion means monument, the monument of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shall suck the breasts of kings, meaning we're going to take all their substance. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord thy power, the Lord and thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring thee gold, and for iron I will bring thee silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. And I will make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and the power thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, meaning our kingdom is not going to go down. In other words, once we get back in power, we're going to be in power forever. The sun is never going to go down on our kingdom again. The sun is never going to set on our kingdom. We're going to always shine, and we're going to always be in that glory once we get into the kingdom of heaven. There's no more going back into slavery under the other nations. Esau's not going to rise back up and put us in captivity. Ham, Japheth, Ishmael, none of the other nations are going to rise up and take us down ever again. When we get on top this time, we're going to remain on top. Neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. So no more mourning, no more crying, no more vexation of spirit, no more weeping, no more hopelessness because of the condition that we're in as Israelites right now. Verse 21, thy people also shall be all righteous, they shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. Verse 22, a little one shall become 1,000. This is in the kingdom. So what is this talking about? We're going to have sex. Again, like I said, the 2/3 that are going to pass in this destruction, the 2/3 are going to come back through the 1/3 that make it. The Lord said, 2/3 shall be cut off and die, and the third will I bring through the fire. It says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the whole elect out there pushing this word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. All right. And what I want to get into this morning, this morning news and prophecy, all right, is the spotlight that's on the small hats. Okay, because as these latest events have occurred, this third world war, okay, is underway. All right, as the small hats have drug America into a direct conflict with Iran. All right, and it's turning out to be catastrophic. Okay, and we already know. Okay, America is able, to pummel. All right, another country. A city. We know what they're able to do. But see, this war is different because now, all right, they're getting some punch back. Okay, and Americans are taking casualties. American assets in their region are being affected. Not only that, all right, much more than just the military loss. Okay, the economic losses that's coming to the world. Okay, and everyone is looking at the results. All right, the cause of everything that's happening, this ripple effect. Okay, that the whole earth is finna feel. Well, it's based on the agenda of the small hats. Okay, as we know, when you go into, as we talk about the elite bankers, these are small hats, the Rothschilds. Okay, when you go into these tech CEOs and these, these technocrats, they're all small hats, man. Okay, all the highest offices and positions in the planet Earth, all right, even the ones that you don't see, well, they're occupied by small hats. Okay, and they're in the background making certain decisions that's causing, certain things to happen. Okay, and now people are seeing that the reason why things are the way that they are is rooted in Esau, and of Esau you have Amalek, which are the small hats, man. Okay, because amongst the nation of Edom, it's Amalek that's calling the shots, man. Okay, and the average everyday person, all right, is now beginning to call out Amalek, man. Okay, these people are the problem of the earth. Okay, the earth has an Edomite problem. Okay, and the core of their problem, all right, with Edom is Amalek. Okay, and this is what the Lord is getting ready to address. All right, and the Lord has prophecy working against this devil. You see, matter of fact, let's get a few precepts. Let's go here because as we know in the book of let's get the book of Exodus 17. All right, you go to the book of Exodus chapter 17 and see what's happening. All right, the Lord is beginning to walk this devil down. You see, prophecy has caught up with, all right, the small hats, okay, and these Edomites. Prophecy has caught up with them. See, there was times when there was generations ahead of people. Okay, there was a time when, they was enlightened on the left hand side, tapped in with Satan, and they were generations ahead of everyone else, man. All right. But as we get to the end now, prophecy, okay, because we're waiting on this nigga to make a move. Okay. Hey, the Lord has raised up the prophets. All right. And we fully now the Lord has given us 100% of the understanding of how these things play out to where we're waiting on this nigga to make a move now. Okay. And see, Amalek is used to having the world reacting to everything they do. But now they're being telegraphed. People, all right, the prophets are telling him what he's going to do next. Okay. So now prophecy has walked this man down. And now everything this devil is trying to do to establish a new world order is working against him, man. All right. And even the fact that he's been spotlighted as the problem of the earth, man. Okay. There's prophecy working against this devil, man. You see? So you go here, this is Exodus 17 and 16. For he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord Yahweh Bashem al Shah will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay? So the Lord swore to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And this is way before Amalek, okay, had any authority in the earth. This was proclaimed way before Amalek became any type of superpower in the earth, because we know they became a superpower under the Greeks. Okay, Alexander, all right, his father Philip, which were Macedonians, okay, which you can link, all right, Haman, the Macedonian, okay, which was a descendant of who? Agag, the king of Amalek, okay. So the Greeks, the elites of the Greek Empire, all right, was Amalek, man. Okay, and then it segued into what? The Romans, all right, and then you had a revival of the Greco-Roman Empire, all right, under these European governments, okay, and who, all right, sent forth their sons, all right, to be bankers, all right, in these different European countries, man. It was the Rothschilds, man. All right, Mayer Amsher Rothschild, man. Okay, started the banking cartel. You see, these small hats began to what? Get control of, all right, the money supply of the world. Okay, to the point they curated the money supply, man. Okay, so when you look at, third world countries, well, these things are intentional. When you look at inflation, when you look at, the cost of living, okay, when you look at the sanctions and all these different things, well, these things are done intentionally, man, by these bankers, man. Okay, the school curriculum, they control all that, man. You see, these devils, these industries, okay, real estate, these devils control. They control it all. The earth was given into their hand. Okay, but the Lord promised that He will have war with these people from generation to generation. And see, now the Lord done walk these people down, man. There was a time where, all right, Esau was able to prosper in his wickedness with no hindrance. Okay, but the Lord raised up the prophets, man. Okay, to begin to resist this devil. All right, and now we see things playing out in the earth to where it's not playing out in His favor. Okay, now things are backfiring on him. See, there was a time when he was comfortably, all right, just executing his wickedness and prospering in the earth. Okay, but now we're at a time where things are backfiring on him, man. And that began with the Lord raising up the prophets. That's why you go to Isaiah 49. All right, let's get this in the book of Isaiah 49 and 1. And it says, listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far. All right, so this is a proclamation to the world, to the whole entire earth. Okay, it says, the Lord have called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother have He made mention of me. Okay, and this is Isaiah. Okay, because the Lord, all right, He intentionally sent all the prophets back at this time, and this was in waging spiritual war. All right, when the Lord started to send back the prophets and raise up the prophets, this was the Lord raising spiritual war on Amalek, man. Okay, And that's why the whole trajectory of the earth has changed since the prophets have been on the scene. Okay? There was the Lord putting a resistance against the devil, man. Okay? It says, and he have made my mouth like a sharp sword. Okay? Made my mouth. So showing you that the prophets are spiritual weapons of the Lord. Okay? Which is destroying, all right, the spiritual wickedness of Esau, man, which is confounding the spiritual foundation. I mean, the foundation of spiritual wickedness and lies of Esau, man. Okay, so the Lord, all right, it started to wage war against the devil when he raised up the prophets, man. That's why I said he had made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand have he hid me. Yeah. So the prophets were tucked away. Okay, for the right moment. All right, because hey, what the most high is a man of war. Okay, because you look at war strategy. Well, who created war strategy? The Most High. So at the perfect timing, okay, he unsheathed, okay, the prophets, man. Okay, and began to spiritually hack away at the elites, man. Okay, which because scripture say we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places, man. Okay, so this word is reaching to the top, to the principalities of this world. All right, which Esau, Edom, beginning with Amalek on the left hand side, they're heavily into Satan. They're heavily into demons, man. Okay, but this word, all right, is causing Esau, all right, to be wearied in this council and try to fast track this new world order, man. To where he's moving foolishly now. Things are backfiring. See, this is a man that's moving in urgency. Esau's not comfortably, all right, feet kicked up trying to set up this new world order. No, this nigga is frantic. Okay? This nigga is frantic. This nigga is weary. He's becoming impulsive. What we're seeing from Esau is desperation. Okay? This nigga is not, all right, this is not Esau's master plan working exactly how he wanted. This is desperation. You see? And we're going to get it in the scriptures, man. What the prophecies say, man, this nigga is moving in desperation. Okay? And it says, he have made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand have he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver have he hid me. Okay? So the prophets was like a secret weapon. Okay? That the Lord would bring out at the appropriate time. Okay? And now we to the point to where this man, he's on the back foot now. Okay, Esau's on the back foot. Okay, and now this war with Amalek, the Most High is getting on the offensive now. Okay, the Most High is starting to get on the offensive. And this is why with this war, you see, all right, when you go into how things are going in this war, man, because see, these devils, they want to topple Iran. Okay, they want to have full control of the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait is still closed, which that's going to benefit, that's going to at least can play off that to destroy the economy. But they wanted to be the ones to do it. Okay, they wanted to be in the driver's seat of Iran. Okay, but now what we're seeing is the prophecy of the Lord. Okay, beginning to take this man down. Okay, and on the way down, he gonna throw out the MOTB mandate. Okay, in the midst of all this MOTB plot twist in the mix. But let's go from there. Because I got a few videos, mostly some shorts. All right. And I got one video at the end going into some news. But just to show you the spotlight on these small hats, man. Okay. Let me see this. I got quite a few. Okay, let's start off with this one.
The United States So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel and their genocide against the Palestinian people. Yes, you heard that right. I am deemed a threat to national security because I don't support Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people. Since when does not supporting a foreign nation get a U.S. soldier investigated for being a threat to national security? So after 20 years of service.
Yeah, so you see, all right, this guy's in the military. And then look at your military personnel, man. Okay? He has an effeminate spirit. Okay? You can tell he's out of shape. And he's a sergeant. And these are the guys you're going to go send to invade Iran? I can't wait to see it. Okay? But as you can see, going back to the point, he's been investigated, all right, because of small hat posts. Okay? And see, they run that narrative of anti-Semitism to the ground. They used to be able to whip out, their word anti-Semitism and people will fall back. But now, nah, man, people are just calling out his wickedness, man. And it's hard for this devil, to make a case. It's hard to defend these small hats, man. It's hard to defend these small hats, man. Okay? Because they just been on the tear. They just been on the rampage. And when you do any type of investigation, you're like, these niggas are the root of every problem. And you look at just how much wickedness the Lord has constantly coming out. Even the whole Epstein, well, they're just the tip of the iceberg. Okay? But see, the Lord is making these charges stick to Esau, man. Esau can't shake, all right, being the wicked anymore. Amalek can't shake being the problem of the earth anymore, man. The Most High is making these charges stick, man. Okay? And this whole anti-Semitism, because they censor you so much that you can't, it's just ridiculous, man. It's to the point now that everyone is seeing these people for what they are, man. Okay? And you Americans are getting ready to be deployed over there to Saudi Arabia. Because at the end of the day, you can get on camera and talk and say this and say that. But your ass, if you in the military, your ass going over there. And the Lord already got it set up. Everybody who's going to get drafted, that's going to carry their ass over there. And it's going to be all for the ambition of the small hats, man. Okay? It's all for the ambition because they want to do the Greater Israel Project because they want to rule the earth, all right, from the land of Israel. They want to steal a blessing, all right? It's Amalek that's at the forefront of wanting to hijack the blessing, man. Okay? So you people in the U.S. military, you fighting for the small hats. Okay? Give a damn what you pledge allegiance to, you fight for the small hats. Okay? You're owned by Amalek. Okay? You're a property of Rothschild Banking Corporation. Okay? And you're gonna go where they tell your ass to go. Okay? So let's go from there. And if a brother could post that in the what was that, Jeremiah 49 and 10 Bible shop. Okay, but I just got quite a few of these little shorts, man. You know, the spirit kind of sent me down a rabbit hole. All right, so let's go here. Let me see.
I think to please stop Zionizing us. Stop the Zionizing. Zionizing, it's a verb which means to gaslight someone with such shameless, narcissistic, psychopathic audacity that you deny reality to their faces while simultaneously playing the victim, engaging in endless circle debates that go nowhere and displaying a complete loss of empathy and basic humanity. Right? Remember, Pierce, why the first video went viral? Because I called Israel a narcissistic, psychopathic behavior fucks you over and then makes you think it's your fault. Because this is what Israel does. It didn't happen. And if it did, you're remembering it wrong. And if you're not, it's your fault because you're looking into my phone. Narcissists lived in their own made up reality. They don't share your reality. They live in their own custom made universe where facts are negotiable and truth is whatever serves them in the moment. And when you corner them, they throw tantrums, accusation, Hamas, anti-Semitism, full victimhood mood. And it's pointless to debate with them, right? Because take him, for example, and the likes of him. You show them a video, it didn't happen. You show them UN reports, these are lies. You mention international law, it's complicated. You get testimonies on the ground from doctors and nurses at Hamas propaganda. Yeah, we saw it with our own eyes. Your optic nerve is anti-Semitic. Like Israel is like Shaggy. We saw you won the hospital. It wasn't me. We saw you killed the children. It wasn't me. Dude, your war crimes are documented. Hamas propaganda also, it wasn't me. There is no point of debating gaslighters. We have 4K videos, satellite imagery, and your own soldiers posting on TikTok bragging about killing children. But of course, yeah, the entire planet is having a mass hallucination, right? This is like Israel has the same credibility as a Ponzi scheme, right? To please stop Zionizing us. Stop the Zionizing. Zionizing, it's a verb.
Yeah, so he went in, you know, because when these devils, you call these devils out, you know, they just tell you, you know, they just straight lie. You know, footage, you know, no matter what you bring on these devils, man, the footage, the evidence, you know, their own soldiers bragging about, you know, because they're like those IDF soldiers, man, they was graping, okay, Palestinian men till they was paralyzed, man. Okay, this is what the small hats are on, man. These people, all right, are the problem of the earth, man. Because see, you have Esau, Edom, all right, which is a low life, man. But when you get to Amalek, it's just a whole nother level, man, of disgusting, man. Okay, it's just a whole nother level of evil and wickedness when you get to Amalek, man. Okay, and they're the ones starting the most shit, and they the biggest cowards, man. All right, the biggest cowards, man. Okay, so yeah, man, it's getting to the point to like it's like goddamn, you know, you have all this evidence, okay, you have all this proof, okay, you have all the facts, okay, and these niggas play these word games forever, man. But see, now the word games is over with. Now the Most High, all right, is launching an attack on your ass, man. First it began in the spirit, and now it's beginning, all right, to play out in the earth, man. Okay, now it's getting ready to play out in war. Okay, now you're getting pummeled with missiles, and it's only the beginning because other nations are going to join in and pummel you small hats with missiles, man. Okay, in America, your protector, he can't protect himself. Okay, the great American, the great white, I mean the great mighty America can't protect your goddamn self, man. Okay, and you've been able to do this because you had American military might bagging you, okay, and the financing of the of the elites. Okay, so you devils, all right, you small heads have been able to do what you want, say what you want, deny, all right, any accountability. Okay, still play the victim, but you can't do that anymore, man. Okay, everyone is calling you devils out, man. let's go from there. I got another one. Let's see. Yeah, the brother put it up for me. I got another clip with these niggas, man. I got a few of them. All right. Let's see. It's the brother Anajium. It's all in 144, Jeremiah 49 and 10. But I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret place, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbor, and he is not. Okay, so before the Lord, because Esau is going to be a spoil of war. All right, that's why you Edomites that survive this destruction, you go into captivity, you're going to be a spoil of war. But before the Lord, all right, before it happens, the Lord would expose your ass and have you bare. Okay, not only is this devil being revealed for being the wicked, and all his wickedness is coming out, but the Lord is stripping this nigga from that sword and from those enchantments, man. Okay, that's why he catching hell. The Lord is stripping this man. He gonna make Esau bare. Okay, he gonna break Esau down to nothing. You see, so Esau is becoming bare. All right, and then the enchantments and the sword is not effective as it once was, man. He got one last hoorah, and that's that MOTB being made mandatory. All right, the little scheme he got for that. That's his only move. The MOTB scheme, that's his last move on the chessboard, man. Okay, and then it's checkmate with nuclear missiles and Yahweh shot, man. Okay, so that's this nigga last move. So before this nigga make this last move, there's a heavy exposure and the Most High stripping this man, making this man bare. Okay, on the world stage. All right, so let's go here because these are different politicians, and they're asking them, are they Israel first or American first? And see, politicians are terrified. And see, these Edomites in America, the American government is terrified of these small hats, man. Okay, because these small hats have all type of blackmail, and or they just come unalive you, and so they terrified of these small hats. The American government, man. Okay, your government are do boys for the small hats. All right, you American military personnel, you fight for the agenda of the small hats, man. Okay, America is not first, second, or third. America is not even a concern to the small hats, man. Okay, they look at you Americans as goyim, okay, which is cattle. Okay, so they don't mind making you cannon fodder for their agenda. Okay, the small hats are sacrifice all 300 plus million Americans to get their agenda done, man. Okay, which is greater Israel in this new world order, man. Okay, that's why you see, you're complaining, and these small hats are sacrifice every American, which they are, in the attempt to do it because them nukes gonna come over here. Okay, you see, because all them nukes gonna come over here because of what these small hats doing over there. Okay, so let's play this real quick.
How many? Sir, can we ask you America first or Israel first?
Israel first.
Israel first?
Yes.
Before America?
No, of course not.
Excuse me, sir. America first or Israel first? America first or Israel first?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk to you about it.
You're not going to talk to me about that, sir? You look terrified. He just got a chill down. He skipped on the elevators. He said, "I'm going to take the steps today."
Who do you think we're occupied by?
APAC. We send.
My boy went to the elevator, and that nigga cut back to the steps. That's how terrified these American politicians are with these small hats, man. All right, because these small hats, all right, they control the world. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, but amongst the wicked, which the wicked is Esau, is these small hats that have emerged as the lords over you Edomites, man. Okay, and they look at you Edomites. If you're not in that, all right, if you're not in that in those elite oligarch families, man. They look at you as going expendable. Okay. So yes, Amalek is gonna send your sons and daughters, okay, into their war. All right. And they don't care nothing about it. Okay.
$18 billion a year to Israel. Why? Just ask the question, what do we get out of it?
Nothing.
We get nothing. Are we doing humanitarian work? No, they're charged with genocide. They're killing off Palestinians. Are we helping them survive? Well, they've got a higher standard of living than we do, a longer lifespan than we do, free education, free housing, free healthcare.
Did you know that in Israel, every resident is insured under the national health insurance law?
Well, we're sending them money. Why? Ask yourself why a U.S. congressman can wear an Israeli military uniform in congressional chambers. I would think that would be an act of treason, but they did. Nobody said anything. Ask why the Israeli prime minister can bypass the president, fly directly in and speak to our Congress without any other government interaction. Congress gave him 26 standing ovations. I think most pop stars would like 26 standing ovations. Our Congress gave Netanyahu, a foreign prime minister, 26 standing ovations. I have difficulty looking at that in any other way than we're occupied. Statistically speaking, we have shown that whoever spends the more money on an election wins 94% of the time. Whoever spent the most wins. We can also show that every time somebody spoke out against Israel or AIPAC, the next election, their challenger was highly funded and wins. Now, we shut down that conversation quickly, right? Whenever we try to talk about it, you get told, well, that's anti-Semitic. No, it's not. Calling things the way they are is not anti-Semitic.
Sir, can we ask you America first or Israel first?
Oh, you see, and it's all coming out, man. Okay, it's all coming out. All right, and it's the Lord that's doing this, man. They can't hide themselves, man. You know, the small has control the U.S. economy, because even the Federal Reserve, all right, the Federal Reserve is a private-owned bank of the Rothschild banking cartel. Okay, when people think of the Federal Reserve, they think of, you know, that's an American bank. That's the federal government bank of America. No, that's a private bank, okay, that belongs to the Rothschild banking cartel. Okay, so you have the chairman of the Fed. He's a worker, okay, for the bankers, man. He answered to the banker. The government answered to the bankers, man. The bankers don't answer to the government. Okay, I want to see my boy cut to them stairs again, man, real quick. Got some more videos. I got another one. I think it's on the same rail with this one. I want to see my boy cut them steps one more time.
Israel first.
Israel first?
Yes.
Before America?
No, of course not.
Excuse me, sir, America first or Israel first? America first or Israel? Terrified. He just got a chill down. He skipped on the elevators. He said, I'm going to take the steps today.
Oh boy. But let's go to this one, because you got this Senator Ted Cruz, and show you just the pride of Esau, man. They just look at people. They don't care about people's culture, traditions. They don't consider anything, man. They just want the world. Okay, they just want more and more control. Like if a brother can post it in Habakkuk, in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 5. Yeah, my nigga, my boy went left, goddamn, and the boy went right. I'm not finna put him in the mix, you know. Yeah, let's get that in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 5. All right, this nigga can never be satisfied, man. You know, and he's such a proud ruler, because as a ruler, man, you're supposed to be considerate of the people that you're ruling. Okay, but this man don't care about nothing. All right, but let's listen to Tucker Carlson grill Ted Cruz when it comes to Iran, and these are supposed to be senators. And see, Esau is a very low level, man. One thing Lord willing, I can do the video later on with the Pakistan. He's a Pakistani senior, and I just want to show you. I want to show y'all the difference of how articulated these people in other countries are. Okay, compared to American politicians, man, because American politicians are idiots, man. They don't know nothing, man. They just all they know is just to enrich themselves, man. Enrich themselves, get more power, get more money, get more control. Okay, well, these people are idiots, man. They don't like as a noble. You're supposed to know things. You're supposed to, as the scriptures say, be not ignorant of a thing small or great. If a brother can post that in Sirach 5 and 15, that's part of the traits of a noble. Okay, you're supposed to know things, man. Especially if someone you're trying to conquer, you're supposed to know that people you're trying to conquer. Okay, but America, they so proud, we just gonna bomb them to death. We just gonna bomb them. Bomb. We're just gonna bomb them. That shit ain't working no more. Okay, these nations, all right, have adapted to your decades of just bombing every goddamn body. To these nations, they done adapted to that now. So that's not effective like it used to be, man. Okay, and these American Edomites, man, these Edomites are idiots, man. Okay, especially over here in the West. But let's listen to this nigga.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not
okay.
even, you don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
claims anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that,
carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
Sir, can we ask you America first or Israel first?
Nigga just caught, man. The nigga done lied so much, he just entangled in his own lies. Because he done lied so goddamn much, man. You know, he got so much wickedness. He got this scheme going over here, this narrative going, this conflict going, this coup, this work against him, this backfiring, and then now he got the lie to cover this lie. You know, he just entangled himself with lies, man. You know, he done burdened himself with so much wickedness, man, that he's breaking under that pressure, man. Okay, I believe that. I got that the other day too. Let me find it real quick. I think it's Proverbs. These brothers will post it. All right. I think it's it might be Proverbs 11, might be 26. I'll look for it in a minute. Hold on. Well, let me read this. This is the Brother Warriors, all right, Yahushua. Okay, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, in verse 5, and it reads, yeah, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlarges his desire is hell, and is deaf, and can never be satisfied, but gather unto him, all right, all people, okay? And see, what we're seeing is this devil, he's just proud. See, Esau is like a man that's just been winning for so long, you know, he became mighty, became wealthy, and he's drunk. You so he just think, he's so full of himself, that so he's just drunk, talking shit. He's looking at people, they've been terrified of him, they influence. You see, he's able to influence people how he wants them to act, how they want him, how he wants them to think. Okay, people are living based off his influence, man. So he's looking at the world and he drunk off his own wine, man. Full of himself, proud, man, and he just constantly trying to heap up more and more. He has no stopping point. Esau has no end game to what he's doing. He just want more and more. There's no end game to what this nigga is doing, man. Okay? But you go here, but you're seeing, all right, that Esau is being made to be a goddamn fool, man. He's a senator, man. He should know these things, man. Okay? Too busy on the island, man. Okay? This is on Brother Isaiah, GMS in Truth Orlando. Proverbs 25:2, he said, "It's the glory of the Most High to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter," man. So that's a noble trait, to search things out, to know things, man. Okay? To understand how things work, how people work, history, the customs, the agriculture, the this, the that, the climate. You're supposed to know these things, man. Especially if you're a man with that much responsibility. The more responsibility you have, the more you're supposed to know. Even the scriptures say, to whom much is given, much is required, man. The higher rank you have, the more you're supposed to understand things, man. Okay, rank is not just for the purpose of throwing your shoulders around and your chest poked out, okay, and enriching yourself, man. No, rank is for the purpose of understanding things so you can better serve the people that you're ruling over, man. Okay? But these devils, man, they're just not fit for rulership, man. Okay? This is all the brother Anad GMS all in 144 says, Ecclesiasticus 5:15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small." Okay, so these here it is, you're a senator, all right, and you're getting ready to go to war with a whole country, and you don't even know the population, man. You don't know the ethnic groups. You don't know anything, man. Okay, even in the book of Judah, okay, you had that Syrian Babylonian general. He was getting a rundown of Israel. That's where we get that. We go to Judah 5, 18 through 20, going into how, when we at peace with our power, okay, there's nothing that can be done against us. But when we at odds with our power, okay, we can be taken. Okay, and there was an Ammonite. Okay, but he was a man of, he was within the ranks, okay, of the Syrian Babylonian army. So he was a man of status to where he had to talk, he had a direct dialogue with the general, okay, but he understood things, man. Okay, but you look at the leadership of America, man, it is just a bunch of flunkies, man. Okay, a bunch of clowns, a clown show. So let's go from there. So I got another one, and also too with how this war going. Okay, the masses are being lied to. People don't have no idea what's going on. Okay, but look at this guy. Here's another one, Tucker.
What is that? That's the Secretary of War right now.
Watch Tucker Carlson realize why the Zionist lobby, led by Norm Coleman of the Republican Jewish Coalition, pressured Trump to install Pete Hegseth as U.S. Secretary of War.
What is going on here? It's enough to make the hair on your arms go up. Did everyone know there was an effort to rebuild the third temple and the foundation stone except me? This is considered so esoteric and weird and crypto-historical and religious and kind of culty and what's Chabad, and that no one ever mentions it. But here's Pete Hegseth, football player from Princeton, going on about it in a way that suggests he's thought a lot about it. This is 2018.
And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle, 1948 was a miracle, 1967 was a miracle, 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle, And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen.
What is that? That's the Secretary of War right now, overseeing the war with Iran that people fighting it are starting to say actually is about rebuilding this third temple. It's the same man. What is that?
And so that's Pete Hegseth, okay? Yeah, you think that it's because these devils know, because going back to the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So you think it's a coincidence that Trump changed the Secretary of Defense to Secretary of War? That's these devils just saying we finna take the blessing. We're gonna go to war with the earth and we're gonna take the blessing. Okay? This is what these devils are on. Okay, so this whole thing with Iran and regime change is way bigger than that, man. These devils saying, look, we finna take the blessing, man. All right, we got the sword, we just gonna take it. And we just finna, because and that's why, these Gulf Arab states eventually, they're gonna turn, okay, on these on the West, okay, and side with Russia, China, and Iran, man, because they part of the play too. Iran is the only, they knew Iran is the only nation that could resist them. They know they ain't gonna have, well, if they get Iran out the way, there's nothing left to resist them in their region. That's their way of thinking. If they topple Iran, there's nothing in their region to resist them. Okay? Well, see, this is what the Lord, all right, is putting this nigga in scrapes. Okay? This is where he's in scrapes, that wild boar. They activated that wild boar, man. Okay? They're not going to make it to finish their plan. You see? They're not going to be able to achieve what they wanted to achieve, man. Okay? And it's going to cause this man to come down with more wrath. Okay? And one thing about Esau, when he loses a war, he takes it out on civilians, man. When that devil, which I meant to find that account. I'll find it. I know that devil Antiochus. You read in the book of Maccabees when he went, and I think it was the Persians. He went and took that. He thought he was going to go spoil the Persians, and they got out on his ass. And what did he do? He came to Jerusalem and did a slaughter on the civilians, man. There's one thing about it. When this devil get his ass whooped by some warriors, man, he don't mind coming and taking it out on civilians, man. Okay? Because the nigga's a coward by nature. You see? So let's go. I think I got about 2 more of these shorts. Let's go here. Oh, I want to just touch on this too. Hey, because I know everybody, I know most of y'all seen what happened with those with that Marine, and they broke his arm, and he was saying that he was not going to go to war. We shouldn't be going to war for Israel. Okay. Now this guy here, Nick Irvin, I think his name Nick Irvin, he's a ex-Delta Force. Okay. But my thing is, what do you think all these veterans and these Marines, guys like him? You see, these people have special training, man. You got millions of people in America with this special training, and they're seeing what their government is doing to the people. You got all these soldiers that really thought they was defending the country, man. They thought they was sincerely doing right, okay, by going into the military, and they thought they was defending, national security, man. And you got a lot of these military men with this special training, man. Okay, that's in America, man. And what type of signal do you think that sent, to these men like this when they seen the American government treat their Marine like that? Okay, what type of signal do you think that sent to all these veterans and these ex-Marines and ex-Special Forces and ex-Army men Okay, because that army, they have that's a real brotherhood. You know, that's a tight brother. You go to war with somebody, man. It's about as tight as a brotherhood you can get outside of course, we in the spiritual war, the prophets. Okay, but you go to war with a man. That's a brotherhood. That's because this man, you had to put your life in this man's hand. This man played a part in getting you home. Okay, so there's a certain brotherhood that these veterans got. Okay, and they're looking at how the government is doing when they did all, especially you pour everything you had into this government for this government, man. You know, and you see it's a scam, you feel played. You know, so you got to factor that into the civil unrest, man, when things get lawless in America, man. So let's play this real quick.
What is the difference?
I mean, if you served in Afghanistan, you should be pissed. I'm pissed. You know, like you go over there, you lose your friends. I got them tattooed on my arms. I got them on me, guys that I lost. And I carry the memories of more guys that I lost when I got out from suicide, you know, and being in. I've buried more of my friends outside the military than when I was in. I've buried more of my friends. A lot of my team leaders, guys that I looked up to, killed themselves like when they got home. And I don't know what we were there for. I mean, you look at it now, it's like, well, you tell us to go over here and take out these people, and we allegedly did something like that, and years later, you let them be in control of the government, then you give them all our equipment, then you give them millions of dollars weekly, monthly in cash. Doesn't make any sense. And you know how the Taliban treats their people. I mean, if you served in Afghanistan.
So I said he was ex-Delta Force, man. So, you know, just imagine how millions of these people, of these men feel as they're looking at, you know, and all this truth is coming out, you know, and then this latest thing, what happened with that Marine, you know, to the point that they broke his hand, his arm, or whatever. You know, imagine how they feel about this, man. It's a lot of pent-up emotions they got, man. And these men got certain training, you know? So it's going to be, it's a recipe, all right, for disaster brewing here in America, man. You know, I just want to throw that out there, too. So I got one more, I think it's one more short, and then I got a little news, one news clip I want to get into. All right. Oh yeah, play this.
Good hiding. But you don't know.
How many people?
Israel is taking a bloody good hiding. But you don't know it. You don't know it for two reasons. First of all, anybody releasing a picture or video of the damage in Tel Aviv is immediately sentenced to 5 years in prison. And secondly, because the mass media, CNN, BBC, Sky News, have accepted Israeli censorship and are therefore not broadcasting the footage that they have taken over a Tel Aviv that now looks like Gaza. How do I know that? Because I've got friends in Tel Aviv. Sheinkin Street, Tel Aviv. Near Dizengoff Square, Tel Aviv. And they've been walking around, and it's they who tell me from their own mouth that Tel Aviv now looks like Gaza. How could it not? Because the air defenses over Tel Aviv are no longer operational. The Iranians are hitting at will with the most powerful ballistic missiles. 50 ballistic missiles hit Tel Aviv last evening alone. They're also lying to you about the number of American casualties, as one of my guests, I'm sure, will testify in just a few minutes. How can all these CIA bases, all these American embassies, all these foreign bases of the United States, how can they all have been hit and destroyed with only 4 dead Americans? I'm going to take a flyer, and it's this. There are approaching 1,000 dead Americans, and they can't be hidden forever.
It's all coming out, man. The brother can put that Mark 4:22. Okay. And this is all because of the small hats. All right. And hey, the Lord is a righteous judge, man. And the Lord, you know, the brother, the beloved brother out there in Orlando, the brother Naharia. All right. We was talking yesterday. He made the point that the Most High is putting on a master class of judgment. Okay, because these small hats, you know, what they've been doing in Gaza the last 2.5 years, now it's being done to them. Now Tel Aviv is looking like Gaza, and that's the glory of these small hats. Okay, it's Tel Aviv. All right, which is known for what? Pink City, man, which is complete hypocrisy, man. Here it is. You know, they go to the Bible when it's time to go to war. When it's time to go to war and kill everybody, okay, then let's bring out a Bible. Let's get a precept to talk about killing everybody because we the chosen people. But then Tel Aviv is known for what? Pink City, man. Okay, most city. All right, and you think that it's not intentional that the Lord got this city being pummeled? Okay, it's judgment, man. Righteous judgment is going forth, man, and it's going to increase. See, this is just the beginning. This is just phase one, man. The righteous judgment going to continue to increase, man. Okay, because pretty soon they're gonna change them conventional warheads out. Okay, and put something on the end of that missile. Put something on the tip of that missile. All right, that's gonna end everything, man. Okay, ain't gonna be no structure standing, man, because we know that land got to be renovated. You see, for the true people. All right, so that land got to be completely, all right, cleansed and refined with fire, man. That place got to be melted. Okay. Yeah, come. You know, I think ain't no business going down today. Okay. Shit, you can pack Tel Aviv up. Okay. So let's let's see. Let's go here. Just a brother Mark Cabal. This is for there is nothing here which shall not be manifested. Mark 4:22. For there is nothing here which shall not be manifested. Neither was there anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. Man, everything is out, man. You know, the Lord is laying everything out on the table because it's like a courtroom setting. All the evidence is being put forth. Okay, everything is being brought out and laid out on the table. All the evidence, you know, from past, present, and future, man. Okay, so matter of fact, let's get there real quick. And then we'll segue to this. I believe it's in the book of Zephaniah. I believe it's in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2. So let's go into the book of Zephaniah. All right, this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 4. It says, for Gaza shall be forsaken. Okay, we see that now. You know, and all this military action, you know, no matter what side it comes from, it plays in our favor. You know, so these nations pummeling each other, well, it plays in our favor. Okay, all this plays in our favor, man. Okay, because all these cities got to come down, man. Okay, you're not gonna have a city, okay, of this world and our kingdom. There ain't gonna be a standing city. You're not gonna be able to go into, you know, a city of this old world, visit this old city of the old world in the kingdom, man. All of it got to come down. Okay, and that's why I like those the earth shaking to and fro. Okay, gonna turn a lot of the cities of the earth into rubble, man. Okay, these skyscrapers and buildings. You know, I remember Pastor Hart went into that, a while back. It said, "For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon in desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod as the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up." And these are all lands in Israel, in the land of Israel. Okay, it said, "Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan." Okay, the land of the Philistines. Okay, so even up there from Lebanon, all right, northern Israel, okay, to the coast, all right, all of it's going to be, all right, destroyed, man. You see, it's going to be refined by their fire. It said, "I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant," man. Okay, so the Lord is going to clear that place out with this war. Okay, the Lord is going to evict the inhabitants of our land through war, man. Okay, so it only gets worse. It's just the beginning. What we're seeing with Tel Aviv, this is just the beginning. It's going to get worse, man, for their whole landmass, man. All right, their whole region. Okay. So let's go here. Oh yeah. So also Iran has elected a new supreme leader. They've chosen a new supreme leader. Okay, which is a slap in the face. Okay, to what those small hats wanted to do is do a regime change. Okay. Well, they selected a new leader. It's the son, okay, of the last Ayatollah. All right, Saeed, I think Saeed Khamenei. All right. So now it's his son. Okay. And what type of mode you think his son in? And then look at the atmosphere in which he became a leader. Okay. And there's no because like I said, when they killed Philip II, the Persians, they killed Philip II, and they thought they was going to decapitate the agenda for those Greek, okay, what you call it, the Hellenistic League, under Philip II, you had, all right, a bunch of Greek city-states come together militarily, make a military alliance, and Philip II was the head of that military alliance of the Greeks, and they was planning an invasion on, all right, Persia. Okay, so the Persians, hired, they got one of the associates. Okay, they got one of the associates of let me see. Let me pull this up. But they got one of the associates of Philip II to kill Philip. They got one of his close associates to kill Philip II. And in their mind, they were trying to do a decapitation, to destroy and to undo their whole plan to invade, all right, Persia, for those Greek city-states to invade Persia. But they killed Philip II, and who they got next? Alexander. You see? So they didn't kill, the Ayatollah, but now his son up. Ain't no telling who that might be, for these times, man. You see? It could be one of them Persian kings coming back, man. We don't know. Just throwing it out there, man. Just speaking as a man, But let's play this. So this is the new supreme leader, the new Ayatollah, okay, for Iran.
It is March 9th, and the geopolitical chessboard has just been flipped over. In a turn of events so dramatic, so utterly catastrophic for the war criminal cabal in Washington and Tel Aviv, the Islamic Republic of Iran has not only weathered the storm of a U.S.-Israeli decapitation strike, but has emerged with a leadership that is younger, harder, and exponentially more dangerous to their interests. We are witnessing a historic shift in the Middle East, and the celebrations on the streets of Tehran tell a story that the corporate media in the West simply refuses to show you.
Iran named Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's son Mojtaba to succeed his father as supreme leader.
Iran naming its new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. He's the son of the late supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Jane, this has just been announced by Iranian state TV that Mojtaba Khamenei, the second son of the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has now been announced as the next supreme leader of Iran by Iran's Assembly of Experts.
Oh, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us at our next webinar. We trade bond.
While Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu were busy high-fiving over the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, foolishly believing they had cut off the head of the snake, they walked right into a bear trap. The snake has not only grown a new head, it has grown fangs, dripping with a venom the likes of which the great Satan has never tasted. Let's be crystal clear about what just happened. The enemy, specifically the Trump administration and Netanyahu's faltering war cabinet, calculated that removing the supreme leader would plunge Iran into chaos. They thought they were being clever. They thought that by taking out the one man who, for decades, issued the fatwa against nuke weapons, the one man who considered them un-Islamic and a red line, they could pave the way for a puppet regime or, at the very least, a panicked leadership that would come crawling to the negotiating table. What a catastrophic, laughable miscalculation. In a move that has sent shockwaves of pure dread through the corridors of the Pentagon and the Mossad headquarters in Tel Aviv, Iran's Assembly of Experts has done the unthinkable. They have elected Mojtaba Khamenei, the 56-year-old son of the late leader, as the new supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution. And if you think the father was tough on the West, wait until you get a load of the son. This is a man forged in the fire of the Iran-Iraq War, a man with deep, unbreakable ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. A man who the U.S. Treasury itself has admitted is a direct threat to their destabilizing regional ambitions. Before we dive into the life of this revolutionary and the panic-gripping Zionist capitals, we need you to be a part of this honest journalistic effort. If you want the truth that cuts through the lies of the mainstream media, hit that like button, share this video far and wide, and subscribe to the channel. We are your eyes on the ground, and we refuse to bend the knee to Western propaganda. Now, let's get into it. The announcement came not in a sterile press release, but in a moment of pure, unadulterated emotion that has become the defining image of this new chapter. State media and videos circulating on X.com, formerly Twitter, show the scene at a major square in Tehran. The crowd, a sea of devoted supporters, waited with bated breath. When the name Mojtaba Khamenei was finally uttered, the square erupted. This wasn't just acceptance. This was a declaration. It was a defiant roar aimed directly at the White House. You see these people cheering, waving flags, chanting slogans against America and Israel. This is the visceral reality that Trump, in his infinite arrogance, simply cannot compute. He genuinely believed, as he told ABC News just days ago, that he would have a say in who comes to power. He claimed the new leader is not going to last long without his approval. He actually thought that threatening Iranians would make them compliant. Instead, they have given him Mojtaba Khamenei. Who is this man that has the CIA and MI6 scrambling to rewrite their profiles? Mojtaba Khamenei is not a creature of the diplomatic circuit. He was born in 1969 in the holy city of Mashhad, and he grew up in the trenches of the revolution. Unlike the Western...
And it's heavy. He was born in 1969. You know, that's when Eli Bibbins started to teach Yahushua. He started to teach Yahushua the second coming, man. You know, and this war with Iran is leading to, all right, Armageddon, which is going to usher in the return of Yahushua. You know, but that's heavy. He was born in 69. You know, there's the end of the 350 years. Okay, going into Revelation, the 11th chapter. Okay, in which their dead bodies. Okay, will lay, you know, in the streets of spiritual Egypt and Sodom. Okay, was speaking of America, man. It's heavy.
Backed monarchs in the Gulf who live in gilded palaces, Mojtaba cut his teeth in the devastation of the Iran-Iraq War, a brutal conflict that solidified the revolutionary ideology of a generation. He is a mid-ranking cleric, a Hojjatul Islam. But don't let the title fool you. In the Islamic Republic, power isn't just about the length of your beard. It's about your connection to the spine of the nation. The IRGC. Mojtaba is their man. For years, he was his father's gatekeeper, the trusted confidant who controlled access to the throne. The U.S. Treasury, in their wisdom, sanctioned him back in 2019, stating explicitly that he was acting in an official capacity to advance his father's destabilizing regional ambitions. They knew who he was then. They knew he was the power behind the curtain, the one with the direct line to the Quds Force and the Basij militias. And now that power is no longer behind the curtain. He is on the throne. His revolutionary ideas are not based on appeasement. He represents a school of thought that views the West-oxified reformers with utter contempt. He was the man widely credited with the hardline rise of President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. He stood firm against the sedition and unrest of 2009 and 2022, understanding that the enemy uses protests as a lever to break the system from within. This is a man who has learned...
Okay, if you're still getting Slack messages asking, how do I do that thing again? I'm about to change your life. I used to waste...
from his father's play, but is unburdened by the diplomatic niceties that sometimes constrained the late leader. And this is where the mockery of Donald Trump becomes almost too easy. The Assembly of Experts member Ayatollah Mohsen Haidari al-Qasir revealed the delicious irony of the situation. They chose Mojtaba precisely because the great Satan hates him. He cited the late Ayatollah Khamenei's guidance that the next leader should be someone hated by the enemy. And who did the enemy attack? Trump personally went on air and declared Mojtaba unacceptable. In the eyes of the assembly, that was the ultimate endorsement. Trump didn't weaken Mojtaba's chances. He cemented them. He tried to veto a candidate, and in response, Iran's leadership told him, in the most powerful way possible, to go jump in the Persian Gulf. It is a humiliation of epic proportions. But the mockery doesn't end there. The ascendancy of Mojtaba Khamenei hasn't been marked by olive branches or pleas for negotiation. It has been marked by fire and steel. Within hours of his confirmation, the IRGC unleashed a devastating wave of retaliation, and it was devastating. For years, the U.S. has propped up its illegitimate bases in the Persian Gulf, surrounding Iran with military hardware. They thought they were untouchable. They were wrong. Massive, devastating strikes rained down on the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. An IRGC spokesperson reported up to 650 American soldiers killed or wounded in the first 2 days alone, with the headquarters in Bahrain being struck multiple times. The explosions were heard across the region. Strategic infrastructure in Saudi Arabia, including the King Fahd military base and critical oil fields like Sheba, were targeted. Oil depots in the UAE and Kuwait were hit. This wasn't a symbolic gesture. This was a declaration that the new Iran will not tolerate the American occupation of its backyard. These strikes were not directed against the people of Bahrain or Saudi Arabia, as Iran's foreign ministry clarified, but against the U.S. military. Is a calculated, brilliant move to expose the vulnerability of the U.S. posture in the region. And what is the American response? Confusion. Mourning. The U.S. military has now confirmed the deaths of several service members from these retaliatory attacks, with reports of serious wounds adding to the toll. The price of Trump's war is being paid in American blood, and for what? To install a man in Tehran who is now vowing to double down. The strikes have sent a clear message to the puppet regimes in Riyadh and Abu Dhabi. Hosting U.S. bases makes you a target, and the new leadership in Tehran is not afraid to pull the trigger. We are seeing the desalination plants in Bahrain damaged, threatening the water supply of a nation that hosts the U.S. Navy. We are seeing the resolve of the people and the new leader unshaken. This is the new reality. Now let's talk about the utter psychological collapse happening in the intelligence agencies of the occupying regime in Israel and their masters in Langley. The Mossad and the CIA pulled off what they thought was a masterstroke. They hacked Tehran's traffic cameras, used AI to track bodyguards, and managed to assassinate Ayatollah Khamenei. They thought it was the ultimate victory. They thought it would break Iran's will. Instead, it has unleashed a fury they cannot contain. There were even initial desperate back-channel attempts by Iranian intelligence to reach out to the CIA, offering to discuss terms. But these were quickly rendered irrelevant, hardliners' ascendancy, and are now completely off the table. The new Supreme Leader, Mojtaba, has reportedly already rejected any notion of a ceasefire. This is the nightmare scenario for Netanyahu. He pushed for this war to distract from his own corruption and the failures of October 7th. And now he faces an Iran that is unified under a radical leader who is vowing to expand the war. So, as the sun sets on another day of this conflict, one thing is painfully clear for the warmongers. They got exactly what they deserved. They demanded the head of Ali Khamenei, and in return, Iran gave them Mojtaba. They wanted to start a war to save face, and Iran has given them a war that will define the future of West Asia. The new lion of the revolution has roared, and from Bahrain to the Golan Heights, the enemies of the Islamic Republic are trembling. Subscribe to get the latest from us because this is far from over. In fact,
Yeah, man. So that's the latest update with that. You know, Iran has a new, supreme leader, and you go into Ayatollah. All right, just to go into what it means. So you go into Ayatollah. All right. Let me get a precept. So you go into an Ayatollah. It says a high-ranking expert scholar in Shiite Islamic law, theology, and jurisprudence. All right, acting as a teacher, judge, and authoritative guide. All right, within the Shiite community. The title, meaning sign of God, is bestowed upon senior clerics in Iran and Iraq, often holding significant political influence. Okay, so this is the new Ayatollah, of the Iranian, government. Okay, and it's gonna be interesting to see this going forward, man. We in interesting time, so just watching it all play out. We know the board, is fully engaged, and the devil is limited, and what he can do next. We know his next move is the MOTB, and then the Third World War just gonna go nuclear. He's out of here, man. So just in the spirit, we just gotta look out for the MOTB plot twist, especially with day by day with the Strait of Hormuz being shut down. So just keeping up with that, seeing how that's affecting. We know gas prices are already being affected. Some places more than other. We know gas, drives, all right, everything else, the price of everything else. So let's go here. This is the book of Job 5:12. It said he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, man. So Esau is not in the power of his hands, to perform his enterprise. He has a cutoff point. He has a cutoff date. So the Lord has it set up to allow this man to get so far. He's going to be disappointed. And he's beginning to be disappointed now. Because things are backfiring on him, man. And he's in a panic. He's got to try to capitalize off the chaos. And even in that, man, they're just signing his death certificate, man. When he makes the MOTB mandatory, it says he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the fraud is headlong. Is carried headlong. So when this devil and all these schemes and plots and all this shit he got going on, all these lies and gimmicks and this and psyops and all this that he got going on and distractions, he's going to be taken in his own craftiness, man. This man got too much going on, till he's confused. So yeah, that's the point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will, all right, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I'm gonna give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful of Shalom.